Sagittarius, this is your astrology for April 2016. Thank you for joining me. It's really nice to be with you. You start the month working very, very hard. You're comfortable putting the effort in, you're grafting away, you're plugging away, and you're really trying to affect change in your work, in your career, and you're trying to change your financial circumstances as a result of your work. So that's a big focus. The other big focus that only strengthens as the 2nd of April rolls around is that you focus on family as well. So you're really loving towards your family. I think you're also working on making relationships better in that sector of your life. And I think the key word so far is work. You're very serious. You're kind of operating from a place of, if I want to have success, if I want things to go well, then I'm going to have to work for them. Okay? The midheaven is what you're actively trying to achieve in your working life. That's in Pisces in your 4th. And what you're trying to achieve is to help everybody else in your family. Venus is what you love. It's the goddess of love and beauty. And she's in Pisces as well. So everything that you're interested in, what you love, what you feel inspired by, what you want to give your energy to, is helping other people in family. So you're a bit of a do-gooder here at the beginning of the month, and everyone matters except you. And you're kind of harsh with yourself, and you feel like you have to work at everything. So the other things that are going on in that sector, you've got Neptune, the South Node, and Chiron in your 4th house of family. Chiron is the asteroid that represents what's difficult, or the part of the chart that's often very painful, until you transform it so that it becomes a strength. And you may be very aware of past difficulties you've had with families. And by very aware, I mean you might even be looking at past life stuff. So you might be feeling real pain and like you have something to make up for, and like even a sense of guilt. At the same time, Neptune dangles this big carrot in front of your nose and says, look, this is what your family relationships could be like. So everything is focused on that. At the same time, you're trying to do this working thing. You're trying to communicate in a way that's helpful and add value. What I would say is relax a little bit and don't be so hard on yourself. The moon goes through the 3rd house on the 3rd of April in Aquarius. So again, you're not just helping family, but you're helping everybody. And then it goes into your 4th house of family on the 4th of April. So you feel most comfortable when in a family environment and when helping other people. So I'm going to call all my Sagittarius friends at the beginning of April and say, come stay, because they'll want to take care of me. And that's what's happening here. You really want to be of service. But yeah, I can't call my friends because this is about family. You Sagittarians are going to want to help your family. You're not that interested in friends, and you're really not interested in anything that seems superficial or surface level. You just really want to get to the depth of everything and get to the nitty-gritty. On the 6th of April, 2 things happen. First of all, Mercury is one of your personal planets, and Venus is one of your personal planets, and both of them change signs. Mercury goes from Aries into Taurus in your 6th house, and Venus goes from Pisces into Aries in your 5th. So with the Mercury in Taurus, you become much more interested in communicating about your day-to-day practical life, about your health, about engaging with the real world, and about getting things moving. Venus in Aries, you become very interested in love and romance. So the family factor kind of drifts away now, and what it is you love is the romantic side of things. You know, what's yours. Family is interesting because often if you're a child and a brother and a sister, that is nothing, you don't have control over that. And it's a different kind of love than when you're with your wife or your husband or with your romantic partner, your girlfriend, because that's something you choose, you know? So you're going away from that, I love all these people who I've known my whole life, and you shift into this much more urgent gear of, this is someone I have sex with, you know, this is someone who I'm expressing my love, where I express myself really intimately, really passionately, it's really fiery, it's really kind of exciting, and all of those wonderful things. So on the 6th, that kind of changes for you. On the 7th, The new moon occurs in that 5th house, and the new moon pulls more Aries energy into it. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the little ram. It pushes through anything, and that's why they call it a battering ram. You know, in those old movies when they knock down the drawbridge with a battering ram, it's because Aries can really get through everything. It can take any problem and just power through it. And that's in your 5th house of romance and relationships. So for you single Sagittarians out there, you're not going to be able to, you know, get off Match.com or Plenty of Fish or whatever, or the dating thing. That's really a very important thing for you. And also, if you are in a relationship, you're going to work at making that more romantic. So, you know, it's Easter, I guess. When is Easter this year? I need to check, actually. Easter 2016. Oh, it's in March, okay? So it's Sunday the 27th of March. So Easter's already happened, but that holiday and this time of year is all about resurrection, you know, things coming back to life. And you really embody this kind of spring-like feeling when it comes to romance, because it's like, okay, I'm ready. Let's get physical, as who is it? Olivia Newton-John says. So that's a big theme for you. I would give you a 10 out of 10 because with the kind of amount of energy you're going to be putting in that, I think you get a very good response. And if you are looking for a partner, it's very likely that you'll find your partner in April. On the 9th, there's a grand trine in Earth, and that connects your Jupiter, your Pluto, and your Moon. Jupiter is in your 10th house of career, so really, at the beginning of the very reading, I said, you know, money and work and all of that stuff, very important. But then family became a big factor, and now romance is a big factor. What underpins all of these other interests is work. And that's echoed here on the 9th of April because Jupiter brings good luck, brings joy and growth to your career. It bounces off Pluto and the Moon, and that means there is more growth, there are changes, there are positive changes, and you're very comfortable working right now. So your working life is going from strength to strength, and that's a 10 out of 10 as well. Whereas with the romance, it's kind of aspirational, what I want. The working side of things is already there. On the 12th, that continues until the 12th, and then on the 12th, the Moon starts to square your midheaven and your Venus, which have now moved on into your 5th house of romance. Your Moon is in Cancer in the 8th, so you're very nurturing, you're very focused on expressing yourself and loving someone and working on love. This is a great day to experience a romantic connection with someone. So if you have to schedule the date, schedule it for the 12th, because you're going to be more nurturing than you usually would be, and you're going to be working very hard at discovering romance and love for yourself. And also you're going to be very easily excited. You've got so much fire in your chart on this day. You've got Mars and Saturn in Sagittarius in your sign. You've got the midheaven, Venus, Uranus, the Sun in Aries, so fire. And then you've got your rising in Leo, fire. So everything is crisping, burning along nicely. So you've got loads of energy, okay? April is really a time where no one can stop you. You're just going, going, going. And that'll pay off for you. On the 13th, there's a grand trine in Earth again. This time, it's with your Mercury, your Pluto, and your Jupiter. So another great day at work, but more so along the lines of you get a positive communication from work that you're going to welcome with open arms. That's a letter saying well done, or that's a promotion, or that's more money, whatever it is, some good news in your working life. On the 14th of April, the Moon sesqui squares Saturn, and the Moon is still in the 8th in Cancer. And Saturn is in your first, so is Mars. So first of all, your ruler is Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter is about growth, expansion, and that's in your work sector in Virgo. So that's good. That's creating more work opportunities, your career to expand, to grow. But Saturn is really the opposite of that, and that is in your sign. Okay, so it feels like your handbrake is on while you're cruising along the highway. So there's smoke coming out of the back wheels. Mars is the soldier. It's war. It's desire. It's sexuality. That's in your sign of Sagittarius as well, in the first house. So you're being urged to drive forward, but Saturn is kind of obstructing that. So it's push and pull, and I think you may feel a little bit frustrated about all of this. And now that the moon gets involved, the moon is in water, which really doesn't compute at all. It's just like taking all of this emotion, this frustration, and then pouring a bucket of water on it. So not only are you annoyed and frustrated, but now you're dripping wet as well. So the 14th isn't ideal. The 14th is just like all over the place. And it's like, what do I focus on? Do I focus on progressing my career or my romantic life? And I just think it's all a bit much, and you're juggling too many things on the 14th, and you drop the ball, and it's just like, I need a break. I need to just refocus and try and do one thing and not everything. So make sure that you go into the 14th just kind of keeping things very neat and tidy. Focus on one thing at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself, because there's a potential to get peed off and to throw all your toys out of the pram, and you know, let's try and avoid that. I try and avoid those things because they don't feel good. On the 15th, there's a grand trine in fire and in earth. So this is another massively combustible day. Romance, again, really wonderful for you on this day. And real passion, and also a real passion for work. So what is it that you do? You know, you feel so passionate, but you also want to achieve more things in your working life. So the choice in itself is frustrating and annoying. So what I get here is that it's too much of a good thing. You end up being somewhat annoyed, and go into this day again, keeping things very simple, looking at what your priorities are, and realizing that you can't do everything in one day. Okay, on the 16th, Chiron starts to oppose the North Node. And I feel like one of your family members is going to be demanding and will want something from you, which will take you away from work. I think that might actually be quite a nice and welcome break for you, because you've been really just getting so into stuff and getting so like irritable and frustrated over the last 2 days, that this is actually quite nice. So take a time out and think about someone else for a while. It'll help soothe you. The moon goes into Virgo on the 17th, and things kind of, you know, calm down. Natural order has been restored. I can actually get things done and have an outlet for my feelings and my energy and my strength, and channel things in. And work is the priority again. And I think you feel back to, it's like back to reality in a good way. Things aren't so overwhelming anymore. On the 20th, the moon goes, you know what actually reminds me of all of that fire frustration stuff is Donald Trump. I've been watching some of his stuff on YouTube, and the guy is very, very entertaining, you know, but he doesn't seem very professional. I mean, he's very entertaining, the way he speaks and the way he has conflict with seemingly everybody, and he's insulting all these people, and it's nice as a joke, but I really hope that, I don't know, because today I watched the news as well. There were already protests outside his rally in Chicago. So if there's protests and violence before this guy starts, then what's he going to be like as a president if he kind of polarizes people to such an extent? So this is someone who really embodies all of this energy of over the top. I mean, Donald Trump is almost 70. He's got energy. I don't know where he gets it from. And it's aggressiveness, and it's too much of a good thing, and it's feeling like I can't channel it anywhere. And then it kind of leaks out the sides, and it's too much of a good thing. And I think around the middle of the month, you have that kind of Trumpy kind of energy, where it's just, you're a little bit much, and you're a little bit too much for your own good. So just keep it simple. Like I said, steady wins the race. On the 20th, the moon is in Libra, and it opposes Venus in Aries. Venus is in Aries in your 5th, and the moon is in Libra in your 11th. This is a wonderful day of going on a date, but actually what I feel is this is a good thing, but potentially if you're spending time with a friend, this is a day where the lines between friendship and intimacy can be blurred. And I think if you're not careful, I think you could fall in love with your friend, or if the two of you are doing, like, in a social situation together, I think it could become a bit confusing and blurred. And you know, there's nothing wrong with friends becoming romantic with each other. But before you do that, just be aware that there's a potential for that on the 20th, and also be aware of that you can go that way. You can make a friendship romantic. It's very difficult to go back to the friendship after the romance is done. So I actually think that it's usually not such a wise decision, but I think it is a wise decision on the 20th of April. So if you are in that situation and it comes up for you, I would go for it. On the 22nd is the full moon in Scorpio, and that is in your 12th house of spirituality. And I think you get some sort of emotional insight which gives you some grounding and which gives you some access to the truth and what you're really doing. And all this chaos and all this sense of I'm all over the place here, that you get a deeper understanding of that and you are able to control yourself a bit better. So let's hope Donald Trump is a Sagittarius as well, because it kind of brings you back to source and you're not wasting your energy and throwing it out every which way, which can be exhausting. On the 23rd and 24th of April, the moon opposes Mercury in Taurus, and Mercury in Taurus is in your 6th house. So that extra knowledge, that extra information is really going to inform you in terms of what you can put into, what you're going to be doing every day over this 4-day period, and you'll be able to bring more structure and more solidity and more peace and quiet into your life. On the 26th, the moon and Saturn and Mars are all in your sign of Sagittarius in your first. So you're really going to feel now your power. It's not going to be as complicated and over the top as before. It'll be easy. There's a nice balance to it. And this is the day to make plans for the future. And especially for living arrangements and friends and family. If you're trying to plan something, plan it on the 26th. The 28th sees Mercury going retrograde in the 6th house. Your career slows down now. Mercury retrograde is when the planet seems to be going backwards. It makes communication more difficult. Your Mercury is in your 6th house of work, and you've been on a roll with your working life so far, but it becomes more labored, becomes more difficult to communicate and to be understood easily. So get most of your, get the things that you have to implement in before the 28th of April. Sign the contracts, make the deals, plan the project, and then just do them from the 28th onwards, because it becomes much more difficult to nail down an idea. And I think that there's major room for misunderstanding. So that's there until the 22nd of May. On the 29th of April, the moon squares Venus. Venus is still in your 5th. The idea of love and romance is very important, but now you actually have an idea which is totally unrelated and which has to do with, okay, this is a very random day for you. And that's not so odd because it has been a random month. But you get an idea about technology or implementing something to communicate on a global level. So you may be an inventor, you may not be an inventor, but something totally shifts, and a big theme for you today is going to be communication on a much bigger, longer, broader scale. On the 30th, Venus goes into Taurus, and that's nice. You would think that this means even more sex and more physicality and sensuality, but it doesn't, because it's in your 6th house. So you really start to love the nuts and bolts and the ins and outs of your daily routine, and you're going to focus on tidying that up. And it looks like you're setting May up to be very, very productive in terms of work and money making. So it's a mixed month for you, April. It's like the weather in the Northern Hemisphere. Sometimes it's warm and sunny, other times it's snowing. It's all over the place. So ultimately it looks very positive. You certainly have a lot of energy, so get a gym membership just to let go of some steam there. But you're certainly not going to run out of energy. So I hope that gives you an idea of what you'll be working with. If you'd like a private reading with me, please visit my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab and you can order your reading there. Remember to subscribe to this channel so that you can see the updates and that the videos actually show up. And you can find me on this channel as well for the monthly astrology forecast, but also for the daily tarot forecasts. So have a look at those, see if you're into those. Thanks for watching this, and I'll speak to you soon.